Having a high VO2 max means that your body is able to deliver more oxygen to your muscles, which in turn can help you run faster. I'm Anna, and today on the Running Channel, along with Andy, we're going to be going through some of the ways that you can improve your VO2 max at home. So if you're unable to get outside to do any running, you have no specialist equipment, or you're limited in the types of training that you can do, then keep watching.
We're going to build on our previous video, which took you through everything that you might need to know about what VO2 max is and why it's so important. So if you haven't seen that already, please do check it out. And we upload new videos to the Running Channel every week all about running, so please hit subscribe and tap the bell icon to be notified when we do.
So to start with, let's recap what VO2 max actually is. So put simply, it's a numerical measurement of your body's ability to consume oxygen. So it's measured in millilitres of oxygen per kilogram of mass per minute.
Running and cardiovascular exercise in general requires oxygen to produce energy. So the more oxygen that you're able to consume and use, the easier exercise will feel. So improving VO2 max can have a direct impact on improving your endurance performance. Do bear in mind though, there is a large genetic factor to VO2 max, which will limit how much an individual is able to improve their score by.
And that's not quite the full picture either, because runners who have a similar VO2 max score can have drastically different running performances. And that's all down to the way that your body is able to effectively use the oxygen that it consumes. And that is where running economy comes in.
Running economy is a measure of how efficient a runner is. So a better running economy means that that runner can sustain a pace closer to the velocity at which they hit VO2 max, their VO2 max, compared to someone with a lower running economy. Don't worry, we're also going to take a look at how to improve running economy alongside VO2 max later in this video.
So finally, for completeness, we'll give lactate threshold a mention. Now, this is a measure of your aerobic capacity, usually used to define your tempo or your long runs. So the key benefit of any endurance aerobic training is to push up the speed at which you hit your lactate threshold, meaning you can hold a faster pace during races and in longer runs for training.
So now that we know what we're talking about, how do we improve VO2 max and running economy at home without running?
There's extensive research about how to improve your VO2 max through running, which we looked at in depth in our other video, so check it out if you haven't already seen that. But it looks mostly at traditional interval training or using high intensity training or HIIT workouts, which are bursts of short, high intensity anaerobic activities with short periods of less intense recovery, carrying on until basically you're too exhausted to continue.
We spoke to the guys at Northumbria University who pointed us to research which has shown that running intervals of only 30 seconds and total session volumes with only around 5 minutes, completed over a period of only around 4 weeks, can still have a positive impact on your VO2 max. But for maximum impact on your VO2 max, you need to be looking at intervals in excess of 2 minutes, for a session duration of more than 15 minutes, and ideally over a period of between 4 and 12 weeks.
But more recently, and more helpfully for us, scientists have been looking at whether you can recreate those fitness benefits by simply using HIIT workouts, using only body weight circuits exercises.
A 2018 study took 3 groups and assigned them to take on treadmill running HIIT workouts, bodyweight circuit HIIT workouts, or moderate intensity continuous running.
They showed that undertaking the whole body circuit training improved VO2 max, speed at VO2 max, and running economy. And we're going to go through exactly what they found in a bit.
So that's great news for us. And another 2019 study showed that it was possible to achieve the same cardiovascular response as running through a series of repeated drop jumps. That's where you drop off a step or a platform and rebound into a jump at the bottom. Now they showed that repeated sets of 9 drop jumps every 15 seconds with 15 seconds recovery meant that participants spent the same amount of time working at above 90% of VO2 max as they did during a running interval session.
So whilst we acknowledge that the best way to improve your VO2 max for running is through running, we've got a whole load of workouts for you that you can do at home without any need for specialist equipment to help you increase your VO2 max.
The research we've mentioned used shorter overall sessions, so the guys at Northumbria University suggested scaling up their ideas to match the running studies, which said you needed to be hitting in excess of 15 minutes overall session volumes to maximise the impact on your VO2 max.
To do this, we're going to put together some exercises with very short recovery intervals, a staple of HIIT workouts, to build up into longer periods of work at your VO2 max and gives your heart rate very little time to drop.
It's also important to talk about effort and how hard you should go. Now we're aiming to work at between 90 and 100% of VO2 max, which is pretty tough, and often HIIT or Metcon workouts are described as all out. But all out in this context means at an intensity level that you can sustain for the entire workout without flagging. Firstly, it's really important that you warm up properly before diving into the high intensity elements of these workouts. Maybe check out our 5-minute follow-along warm-up, which is part of our home workout video on the running channel.
So workout number 1, we've got squat jumps, mountain climbers, skater jumps and squat thrusts. Perform all exercises in order for 30 seconds with 15 seconds of rest, twice for 1 set, 6 minutes. Then complete 2 to 4 sets in total, depending on your current level of fitness, with 2 minutes rest between sets.
For this one, perform 10 burpees every minute on the minute. Take the rest of the minute that you have left as recovery and then go again for 20 minutes in total. Now you might find you need to increase the number of burpees you do if you find that you're spending more than half of each minute recovering.
Workout number 3. So this workout uses all of the exercises from the study that we mentioned before, but with more sets overall. So for this one, you're going to be doing burpees, mountain climbers, squats and thrust with overhead press with 3 kg dumbbells and jumping jacks. So perform all exercises in order for 20 seconds with 10 seconds rest for 1 set at an all-out effort. Complete 10 to 16 sets with no rest between the sets.
This one's not for the faint-hearted, but if you really want to step it up, then here you go. Start off with squat jumps, then straight into push-ups, skater jumps, mountain climbers, jumping lunges, jumping jacks, tuck jumps, and burpees. Do each of those exercises for 40 seconds, take 20 seconds rest, and then go straight into the next exercises. There are 8 exercises in total, so that's going to take you 8 minutes for 1 set. Aim to do 2, 3, or 4 sets, depending on how hardcore you're feeling, and take 2 minutes recovery between those sets.
We mentioned a study that found that it was possible to create a similar cardiovascular response to running intervals by doing a session using repeated drop jumps. In fact, other studies have also found that plyometric exercises like drop jumps can help with your running economy.
These exercises improve running economy and lower limb strength through the neuromuscular and musculoskeletal adaptations that take place, potentially improving the ability to utilise and generate force over a short period of time, like during running.
But plyometric exercises do involve a degree of jumping and rebounding, which can put extra stress through muscles and tendons. So if you aren't used to doing that kind of exercise, or perhaps you're just building up to it, then we would recommend sticking to the bodyweight exercises that we mentioned earlier before building up and going for something a little bit more extreme like those plyometric exercises.
However, there is something simple and relatively low impact that's been shown to have similar positive benefits to running, namely skipping or jump rope, depending on where you're from in the world. A 2020 study has shown that skipping has had positive impacts on foot arch stiffness, reactive strength index, which is a measure of explosive power when it comes to jumping and ground contact time, and ultimately, and most important for us, 3K running time trial performance.
So if you are looking to build up to those plyometric exercises, then the recommendation from us is super simple. Build 5 minutes of skipping rope drills into your running warm-up routine 2 to 4 times a week, and that should be enough to have an impact.
It's a great feeling when we find something that works, but remember to mix up your workouts to maximise performance. Repetition is the enemy of motivation, so we want to avoid falling into doing anything too regularly that could cause a plateau in our progress.
An increase in your VO2 max is an improvement in your cardiovascular capacity. So even if you haven't got any major training or endurance goals in mind, an improvement in your VO2 max can just have an overall benefit to your general health, because the higher your VO2 max is, the less stress is being put on your heart in every day.
Just remember though, your VO2 max has a lot to do with your genetics. So whilst you are able to improve your score, there is going to be a limit to what you're capable of.
We hope this video has given you an idea of how you can improve your VO2 max at home. If you enjoyed it, please do give us a thumbs up. And if you've got any questions, then be sure to leave those in the comments and we'll get back to you. And we'll see you next time on the Running Channel.